our broadcast engineer, Richard Nema. He's also our driver. Um, our program assistant, David Thomas, in the studio. And of course, to Jesse Blake, our producer. Also, special thanks to Common Blake, no relation, the St. Anne Association and Society of the Jamaica Agriculture Society. All right, that is it, folks. Listen, just a quick reminder, I'll see you on Tuesday next week because I'll be swapping with Herbert, who will come in on Wednesday. And by the way, T20 cricket on Tips tomorrow and on TVJ's football cricket. Tune in. It's quite entertaining. Take care. Have a great weekend.
The preceding broadcast of Power Talk from the St. Anne Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show at the Port Roads Sports Complex in Discovery Bay, St. Anne was brought to you by the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, the Rural Agriculture Development Authority, RADA, the St. Anne Association of Branch Societies, JAS, Caribbean Chemicals Jamaica Limited, and the Jamaica 4-H Clubs.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2 o'clock.
Both sides of the story, linking Jamaicans in the diaspora with Jamaicans of like mind in Jamaica. Connecting the Jamaican diaspora abroad and at home. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session, hour 106.
You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven.
Let's drink to the hard-working people, and let's drink to the lonely, the bird. Raise your glass to the good and the evil. Let's drink to the salt of the earth. For the coward foot soldier, spare of God, for his back-breaking word. Say a prayer for his white man, his children, who burned the fire and who killed till the end. And when I saw it, my face was fire. I can see a swirling mass of grace. All I can tell you about it, black and white. But you know they don't look real to me, no. In fact, they look so strange, yeah. Oh, yeah. Raise your glass to the hard-working people. Let's drink to the uncounted. Let's think of the wondering millions who need leaders, but get cameras instead, yeah. When I search, my face is proud, oh yeah. I can still see a mountain spray. Yes, I can right now. Black and white, oh, they don't look real to me, no, they don't. In fact, they look so strange, yeah. Let's take to the hard-working people. Let's take of the lonely of birth. Let's take to the ragtag people. Let's take to the solitary. Let's take to the hunger.
Johnny Adams, Salt of the Earth. And before that, Matthew 5:13-16, Salt and Light. We're still in the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 26th day of the fourth month of 2024. The month of April is being observed as World Autism Awareness Month. It's Arab American Heritage Month and National Child Abuse Prevention Month in America. Meanwhile, here in Jamaica, April is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, Farmers Month, and Financial Literacy Month. The Jamaica Literary Association is leading the celebration of National Reading Week. The world is observing Immunization Week, and Jamaica joins the rest of the world in marking Intellectual Property Week. In fact, today is World Intellectual Property Day. Today is also International Delegates Day and International Chernobyl Disaster Remembrance Day. It's Confederate Memorial Day in the USA and Union Day in Tanzania. It's World Malaria Day. Hoy es viernes el 26 de abril 2024 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est vendredi le 26 avril 2024 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Friday, the 26th of April, 2024, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never, ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Black and white, all they know the real to me, no they don't. In fact, they look so strange. Yeah, yeah. Let's take to the hard-working people. Let's take of the lonely of birth. Let's take to the right-hanging people. Let's take to the solitary earth. Let's take to the hungry.
Thank you very much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. It's a Friday. We're taking your calls on 876-922-5688. 411225. 876-922-411225. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can also call us on WhatsApp, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Good afternoon to Ricardo in Glengough, St. Catherine. Thank you for your greetings. And we should say hi, hello, and welcome to Peter Barkley. He says, good afternoon, everyone. Let's come back to those messages in just a moment.
Follow the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development on Instagram and X at LocalGovJA. The time by the ministry is 2:15. Power 106 FM, the digital sound, now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us on 106.1 to 106.9 on the FM band. You can also listen to us on the Power 106 FM app, which you could download on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can tune in on your mobile phones by dialing 631-359-8281 if you're in the US. And if you're in the UK, you can dial 0330-606-0953. Plus, listen to us on OneSpotMedia.com and the OneSpot Media app, or log on to go-jamaica.com. Power 106 FM, where all views can contend, giving you powerful talk radio in so many ways, on air and online. Of the 108 millions who can't beat us, but get gamblers instead. Yeah.
Peter Barkley says, good afternoon, everyone tuned in. Ricardo is still working on his French. Mike Montgomery says, good afternoon, teacher, to you and your listeners. I'm here home watching you, along with my wife's brother, Junior, from Canada, along with his friends, Lucky and Gemmo. Keep educating the nation. Keep safe, teacher, says Mike Montgomery. Thank you very much for your message, Mike Montgomery, and all the very best to you. Also messaging us this afternoon, Inga Gibson. It's been a long time, Inga Gibson. Good to hear from you again. Welcome. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Have a great weekend, everyone. Same to you, Cherry Henry. Same to you. Inga Gibson says, blessings and love to all. To you too, Inga Gibson. Andrea Jackson says, I appreciate you. On Saturday, May 4th, I will be celebrating 9 years on the radio. Thanks again for allowing me to share my book on your program. You're welcome, Andrea Jackson. You're welcome. And Inga Gibson has sent us lots of multicolored hearts. And Velta Wilson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. I hope you will have a blessed weekend. Good afternoon to you too, and hope you will also have a blessed weekend. And Andrea getting our attention here. She says the volume is a little low. Not sure what else we can do from this end, but we will try. Please let us know if the audio gets any better, Andrea Jackson. In the meantime, we will keep listening and still taking your calls on 876-922-41125. 876-922-41125. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And somebody has some nice things here to say. That's kind of you. Thank you very much. Rudolph in Stony Hill says, "Good day, Sir Malcolm. Hope all equal. Just want to highlight what is going on by the U.S. Embassy with those people keeping things for people, going to the embassy, keeping phones for people like phones, etc. A friend of mine been there Tuesday and left a small bag with one of those women, and his $3,000 she had to pay. They are there to eat a food, but they are killing people with a high price that they hardly have. Little most she couldn't get back home to Montego Bay. God make her daughter took some extra cash. They could have taken $1,000. That is wicked. That is a wicked act. We're sorry to hear of your situation. We're not sure to whom you can go to report that, because it's an organic situation outside of the embassy of the United States of America. In other words, the United States of America itself doesn't have anything to do with people on the outside holding and safeguarding cell phones and other items not allowed in the U.S. Embassy. Remember, listeners, once you are on the grounds of the U.S. Embassy, you are on foreign land, in case you didn't know. By being on the ground, once you enter the compound of the U.S. Embassy, you're on foreign soil. That is how it is. So they obviously have no say in what happens outside the embassy, where people volunteer to put up items that are not allowed on the compound. So bear that in mind, please. Bear that in mind. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Marie says, "Hi, Mr. Malcolm. Blessings to you and my people of Jamaica. Our national anthem, Eternal Father, bless our land, guide us with thy mighty hand, keep us free from evil powers." And the message goes on. Now, someone is making a comment now with respect to one of our colleagues, and we're not going to carry that any further, but that colleague will need to, or that individual, that caller will need to speak with our colleague on that. But thank you for your message anyway. We appreciate your message. 876-922-4112-5 are the numbers to call. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And hello as well to Andrea Jackson. She says, we can hear you, but not from the studio radio station. And Inga Gibson says, God bless Jamaica, land we love. And also, she says, yes, Precious, thanks for the welcome. Love you, Precious. God bless, says Inga. And Hubert Fowlin says, happy Friday and good afternoon to Mr. Dervan, Malcolm, both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM, and your listening audiences. Good afternoon, Hubert Fowlin. Thank you very much for your message. And we're taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. Let's see what we have here now. Let's see what we have here. On this day in 1711, by the old style Julian calendar, or May 7 by the new style Gregorian calendar, David Hume was born in Edinburgh, Scotland. Although Hume died on August 25, 1776, when the American Revolution was barely underway, his essay, Idea of a Perfect Commonwealth, greatly affected the ideas of the drafters of the Federal Constitution in 1787. Most famously, James Madison contemplated Hume's proposals for an ideal government, and more precisely, Hume's thoughts regarding the prevention of faction as he constructed his argument in favor of the Constitution in Federalist X. Another piece of history here for you. On this day in 1798, a patent was granted by Governor Sir Nicholas Laws, whose name lives on in Laws Street in downtown Kingston, Nicholas Laws. So a patent was granted by Governor Sir Nicholas Laws to Thomas Spencer, bricklayer, to hold a fair for 3 days on West Street at Littleworth in Kingston, beginning on May 1st, where there would be all manner of sports and pastimes like horse racing, cockfighting, bull baiting, cajoling, playing for hats, dancing for knots, wrestling for belts, troll madame, quoits, leaping, pitching the bar, the raffling plate, and they went on. Those are the games people used to play back in the day. It's a new day now, isn't it? Here's another one. The Charles Richter, when we talk about the magnitude quake on the Richter scale, that's Richter is spelled Richter. Charles Richter, physicist and seismologist, was born on this day in 1900. And now to one of those fascinating, intriguing stories coming out of Jamaica about an individual. As he was leading a march of some 6,000 people down Hope Road, Alexander Bedward was arrested on this day in 1921. The police, supported by the local British regiment, intervened. We'll tell you more in a moment.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session, hour 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:30.
Come to Stewart's Hardware 2-day Spring Super Sale. Friday, April 26th and Saturday, April 27th. 2 days filled with super discounts. Get all the hardware, houseware, plants, and lots more you've always wanted at super sweet prices. You simply can't afford to miss Stewart's Hardware Spring Super Sale. That's April 26th and 27th. There'll be fantastic savings just for you. Stewart's Hardware and Home Center, building value.
If you know what about the one thing, if you don't see the Arab legend, so don't let water circle in whole container. But then you keep up under the table. I'll shut them out, but they're not right. Stop them with this upper and don't them with spray. Use mosquito, let that mosquito spray. Protect your house, will not make them come in. If you know what about the one thing, if you don't see the Arab legend.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
So we were sharing with you the story, a bit of the story of Alexander Bedward, who was arrested on this day in 1921. The police, supported by the local British regiment, intervened. They stopped the march, arrested him, and charged him for disturbing the peace. He was found innocent but insane and sent to what was then described as the lunatic asylum, where he died in 1930. Alexander Bedward was a popular folk hero and leader of a messianic cult movement, Bedwardism. The movement was centered on the Jamaica Native Baptist Church in Augustown on the banks of the Hope River, where Bedward's fame as a faith healer and preacher attracted followers from all over Jamaica, Cuba, and Central America. But Bedward was more than a revivalist preacher. He openly challenged the establishment, and in 1895 had been arrested for sedition following his racial prophecy that the black wall shall crush the white wall. After Bedward was declared insane and committed to the lunatic asylum, but was released on a technicality, and Bedwardite missions sprang up all over Jamaica as his influence grew. On the last day of December 1920, Bedward announced that he would ascend to heaven and descend on January 3, 1921. Thousands of supporters in Jamaica and from Panama, Cuba, and other parts of Central America disposed of their belongings and came to Augustown to wait for the miracle. It failed to take place, and Bedward declared that the time was not yet right. Let's see. 1923, the report of Dr. M. Graham, visiting medical officer of the Victoria Jubilee Maternity Hospital for the year ended December 1922, was as follows. The number of patients admitted was 870 against 800 the previous year. Of the patients, 699 were Black, 150 colored, 5 coolies, and that's a term we don't use anymore, and 16 white, and 208 were married. There were 9 deaths during the year. 780 patients resided in Kingston, 79 in St. Andrew, and 11 in more remote parishes. That's 1923. 1927, Details were released about a treasure of 18,000 pounds in gold, which were in a vault made of temper lime, and which was built and hidden in the Port Royal Mountains of eastern St. Andrew by Mona Martel, a French refugee from Haiti, who brought the money to Jamaica when he came here in 1817. Descendants of Martel have now obtained permission from the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, which now owns the property, to carry out an expedition to search for it. The property in the Port Royal Mountains is one of the properties purchased by Martel when he came to Jamaica. Other property included land on Kingston's coastline, including the site of the present Royal Mail premises. Well, don't know if that is still standing, but that's history from 1920, reported on from 1927. And 1929, Mr. Audley Morales, or is it Morales, general manager of the Palace Wilcox Singer Group, in an interview for the Daily Gleaner, declared that for the first time in the history of the business of the company, the movie theater in St. Andrew was going to present moving pictures. Jamaican audiences would have the pleasure of hearing and seeing motion pictures, bringing the quality of program on par with theaters abroad. 1932, the bill to amend the income tax law 1919 was thrown out by the unanimous vote of 14 elected members in the Legislative Council. The main objective of this bill was to increase the income tax chargeable on income in excess of £2,000. Because the US government has taken over thousands of acres of land in South Clarendon to establish a naval and air base, it is decided to relocate residents of Gimme Me Bit, Manningsfield, Sandy Bay, and other villages to other areas in the parish. And those of us who are feeling the heat, well, those in Jamaica in 1949 were feeling the heat as well. A case of the more things change, the more they remain the same. In 1949, the temperature in Kingston was at its highest on an April day in its history, a sweltering 95.2 degrees Fahrenheit. The hottest day recorded for Jamaica was a thermometer reading of 97.8 degrees in the torrid midsummer month of August in 1923. Well, what we have been feeling today is an indication, perhaps, of what was happening in 1949. But again, it's just a reminder that the more things change is the more they remain the same. Because to think that those who were living in 1949 experienced heat of 95.2 degrees Fahrenheit and 97.8 degrees. Well, would love to get an update on the heat on the outside before the afternoon is through. And 1953, a halo, a circular rainbow, was seen in the sky, caused by the action of the sun's rays on ice crystals in the upper atmosphere. There was a similar occurrence on April 25, 1997, when a halo encircling the sun was visible in parts of the island. A release from the National Meteorological Service said that the spectacular solar phenomenon being observed of the island in the form of a bright, colorful ring around the sun was an optical meteorological phenomenon called a halo. These phenomena are produced, the Met Office said, by the refraction or reflection of light, in this particular case, the rays of the sun, by ice crystals suspended in the atmosphere, such as cirriform clouds, cirrostratus, as are now present over the island. That, well, this was a story by 1953. The Met Office said that these phenomena are regular occurrences which mostly go unnoticed. They're not indicators of impending adverse weather conditions, the release said. So that's that. And let's go back to the messages for the time being and some of the comments. 876-922-4112-5 are the numbers to call if you wish to discuss your issues. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Here's a message from Omar. Omar says, "Greetings, Mr. Dervan. Wishing you a happy Friday and a great weekend ahead. Please shout out to my mother, Miss Eudalyn in Fern Gully, Ocho Rios, who is listening to you right now. Love your program, Dervan. Been listening for years, and we appreciate you. Continue the great work, Mr. Malcolm, and God bless," says Omar Braham. Thank you very much, Omar, for your message. Here's another one, but this one is from Beresford. Beresford, we take note of the fact that you have sent us a voice note. We haven't been able to audition the voice note, as in listen to it before making a decision of how to deal with it. So let's see if we get a break at some point where we can play it off air and check it and then make a decision accordingly. How about that? In the meantime, we're taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Rupert Watson says, "God's richest blessings to Mr. Malcolm, and I'm listening to you from Ottawa, Canada." That's good to know. Thank you very much. Please continue to listen, and all the very best. Faye Weller says, "Blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. We're all here again watching, listening, and learning." That's good to know. Thank you very much. Inga Gibson says, "My birth month, Jamaica, land of my birth." Valerie Weller Peck says, "Good afternoon, everyone." Good afternoon, Valerie Weller Peck. Angelia Christian says, "Good evening, good night from London, Angel Foundation, UKJA. Fairly sunny today in London," says Angel of the Angel Foundation. Thank you for that update and all the very best. As we continue to take your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number. And we look forward to receiving more of your messages and your comments as we get an indication as to what's on your mind. What are you thinking of? What's the subject in your household? What are people in your community talking about? What are people on the buses and the taxis talking about? Well, here's a concern the fire brigade or the fire department is sharing with the general public, that the fire department is concerned, the fire department in Trelawney is concerned about the escalating number of bushfires across the parish. They said they started with 8 in January, and to date, we are now at 90. Whoa. 90 bushfires. That's serious. And that's just Trelawney. The fire department in Trelawney is concerned about the escalating number of bushfires across the parish. We started with 8 in January, and to date, we are at 90.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
With over 40 years of record service, Lock Safe and Bolt Limited is your trusted security provider. Get affordable prices on a wide variety of seals, garage doors, access control supplies, magnetic lock, fingerprint, keypads, card access system, time attendance, power supplies, and exit buttons. Professional services provided. Visit 40 Shortwood Road, Kingston 8. Problem solved with Lock Safe and Bolt.
Wetlands are one of the most important and productive ecosystems universally. They provide shoreline protection against hurricanes and are natural habitats for several species of animals. Let's take the necessary actions to ensure that wetlands are conserved and sustainably used. A message from Conrad Douglas and Associates and the subsidiary Environmental Science and Technology Limited, pioneers in environmental management and environmental engineering consultancy services for more than 38 years.
The business of bribery is also rearing its head. Bail extended for policemen accused of soliciting bribe. Bail was today further extended for 3 St. Catherine-based policemen who are accused of corruption. Corporal Stephen Peart and Constables Morris Foster and Lariston Bogle are charged with solicitation of a bribe. And in this age of artificial intelligence, there's a story in the Gleaner's online feed, Jamaica-Gleaner.com, and that is athletic director used AI to frame principal with racist remarks in fake audio clip, Baltimore police say. Let's look deeply at the story. A high school athletic director in Maryland has been accused of using artificial intelligence to impersonate a principal on an audio recording that included racist and anti-Semitic comments, authorities said Thursday. Authorities said the case appears to be among the first of its kind in the country and called for new laws to guard against the technology. That technology is AI, artificial intelligence. Experts also warned that artificial intelligence is becoming increasingly powerful, while the ability to detect it may lag behind without more resources. Dashawn Darien faked the voice of Pikesville High School's principal in response to conversations the men had about Darien's poor work performance and whether his contract would be renewed, Baltimore County Police said. Concerns included allegations that Darien paid his roommate $1,900 in school funds under the false pretense of coaching the girls' soccer team, police said. Darien forged an audio clip in which it sounded as if the principal was frustrated with Black students and their test-taking abilities, police wrote in charging documents. They said the recording also purported to capture the principal disparaging Jewish individuals and 2 teachers. The audio clip quickly spread on social media and had profound repercussions, the court documents stated, with the principal being placed on leave. The recording put the principal and his family at significant risk while police officers provided security at his house, according to authorities. The recording also triggered a wave of hate-filled messages on social media and an inundation of phone calls to the school, police said. Activities were disrupted for a time, and some staff felt unsafe. Teachers have expressed fears that recording devices could have been planted in various places in the school, the charging documents stated. Darien, 31, faces charges that include theft, disrupting school activities, stalking, and retaliating against a witness, according to court documents. Scott Schellenberger, the Baltimore County State's attorney, said the case appears to be one of the first of its kind nationwide, as in right across the US, involving artificial intelligence that his office was able to find. He said Maryland's legislature may need to update state laws to catch up with the nefarious possibilities of the new technology. Well, that's technology for you listeners. That's where it's at. Artificial intelligence creating problems in institutions all across the United States of America. So let's be mindful of these things and ensure that we're not feeding into artificial intelligence in a way that undermines us and our institutions. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. To the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
And by now you should know that I am not an AI.
You're not an AI creature.
No, sir. Dervan.
Yes.
When last you heard of this acronym,
Kiwanis. Every now and then.
Every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Dervan, I would ask, is the Kiwani Club of Kingston, is it still active?
Well, I can't speak to that one in particular or any of the others, but I do know I still see the signs at hotels across Jamaica or venues across Jamaica saying this is where Kiwanians meet or this is where the Kiwanis meetings take place. So those signs are still up.
Have you ever tried to find out the mandate of the Kiwanis Club, Dervan?
Well, I think we can find that easily by Googling and without interference from AI. Let's go ahead.
And the chambers of commerce, is there active chamber of commerce in Kingston?
Well, I would like to think that the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce is still active. When you pass between Jamaica House and the private sector organization of Jamaica, there's an area, there's a compound, there's an area across from the Jamaica House. They have a list of associations that are a part of the private sector organization of Jamaica. So I will pay attention to the signs just to confirm that those signs are still up. That much I can do.
Dervan, Kingston. Kingston is a wreck. It's like I don't know if you ever see the show that the bombing of of somewhere in Yugoslav them called Dunkirk. Mash up Kingston, mash up Dervan, mash up.
What are the areas? What are the areas of damage that has been done?
Well, Dervan, I don't know if I can take you on a small trip,
Mm-hmm.
going down Slide Road, straight down to King Street, and I'm speaking about North Parade, coming down on King Street. I don't know if you can visualize it, but coming down on King Street from coming up from Eros Circle side, not exactly, but you're coming from Crossroads side, coming downtown, and you reach King Street right at North Parade. Dervan, when you look and that surrounding the van, you'll see that Kingston is on the right, because the van, when you look to the left and the right, pure dirty water, the van. And I'm talking about sewage water running right here and King Street at North Parade.
That's a long-standing problem, because I have heard of plans over the years to sort out that problem once and for all, but apparently that is yet to be done.
But there is a popular fast food chain right there, Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
A popular fast food chain is right there. And now we'll just up and skip go up to your right hand side. The bus B. That is where you'll get all the buses if you want to go to like up back to Crossroad, Alfred Tree, and on the east side, like East Kingston and Port Royal. If you're in that section, waiting on a bus, Dervan, pure water is there. Dirty water, you have to be up in and skip it. But Dervan, the part is yet to come. We go through the park now, through Sir William's Grand Park, and reach over to South Parade now. And right there is the Kingston Parish Church. And we go right down the road and we pass Woolworth, and we are next to Justice Square. Where am I speaking, Dervan? Justice Square.
That's King Street is a part of that.
Yes, Dervan. The Supreme Court,
mm-hmm.
That is where Justice Square is, Dervan. But Dervan, I'm telling you, I don't know if what I'm going to say is it against saying it, but Dervan, right over the other side from Justice Square, it is in New Bellevue, Dervan. It is in New Bellevue. And
connection Hold a moment. The connection has gone bad. One moment, please.
Let's drink to the south of yeah.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
your taxes hold me. Taxpayers. Select tax offices will be open this month and Saturday for your convenience. Conduct motor vehicle transactions, pay property tax or traffic tickets, renew your driver's license, or drop off the relevant documents at any of the following locations: St. Andrews, St. Anne's Bay, Montego Bay, Mandeville, or
the
Savannah
section
Lamar
where
from
you
10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Portmore office remains open on Saturdays
of the
from 9
vehicle.
a.m. to 2 p.m. Visit
We're not meant to cup holders.
www.jamaicatax.gov.jm or call
It's
888 tax help for
behind the two
details.
cup
Tax
holders.
Administration Jamaica,
It's in the
changing the
dark
way we
area.
do business.
You sure? So what were you asking me for?
Make you listen to me, please. No plastic, magnolia blowing at the breeze. Grab a garbage, disposal, recycle plastic, now make it full up in the streets. Bag it and pin it, every rubbish in a pan.
Where is that?
This up the way island, so keep Jamaica, keep Jamaica. Say make we breathe. A message from the National Solid Waste Management
Must be
Authority.
yours. Hmm.
To the hard working
Okay.
people. Let's drink to the uncounted. Let's think of the wandering millions who need leaders but get cameras instead. Yeah. When I search for Christmas pride, oh yeah, I can still feel.
Hope the quality of the line has improved. Thank you very much for holding. Go ahead, please. We did hear what you said. Go ahead.
Yes, Dervan. So we are at the Justice Square. So on the side opposite the courthouse is like there we have the new Bellevue. It is a place where pure homeless person and insane person is
Well, I can understand homeless, but when it comes on to insane, a medical practitioner has to be the one. A medical practitioner has to pronounce on that.
Yes, the van, but what I'm saying, the van, the cleanliness right in Justice Square, it is half of the van. You have to be careful how you're stepping because those people do not have anything to relieve themselves.
Aren't there a couple of? Aren't there a couple of? Hold on. Hi, hello. Aren't there a couple of? Is it one or two? The Marie Atkins shelter. The Marie Atkins shelter. That's one of them. I'm not sure where the others are, but there are other similar facilities in different parts of the country. I don't know exactly how many of them, but there are opportunities for those who are homeless to have a couple of meals per day and to refresh themselves.
But Mr. Malcolm, those people know that right in Justice Square is where them have the hope that somebody would come there standing because we know say cases always happen there and them can hustle a little food, the van, and most of the feeding of the homeless, they are done right there. Most people who have to feed the homeless, them always do it right in that square.
Yeah, well, clearly it needs to be a little more structured, although when you're dealing with certain circumstances, you you have to give and take. But
But but Dervan, if we are trying to move to first world standard,
that's the point I'm making. That's the point I'm making.
if
Go ahead.
yeah, if we are trying to move to first world standard, Dervan, the first thing that a government should do is try to invest in the people. That is the first thing a government must do. Try to invest in the people is a government biggest capital. The people of a country is a government biggest capital. And a government cannot compete with its citizenry, or else it would cause chaos. So I'm saying the van in Kingston downtown, people after been going into the private place if them want to relieve themselves, because look the van. The only place downtown where a person can just freely go and relieve themselves is right in the park. And sometimes the facilities there is not working. So it leaves the people to relieve themselves on the street side. Dervan, what our government should look into, Dervan, and I've been to other countries, having public facilities where people can relieve themselves at any time, anywhere, is most crucial, and you cannot depend on a Mother's or a Kentucky store or any other store, because those people not going to let you in their place unless you are buying something.
Well, they should read that as it is to make a decision as to where they should go seeking to relieve themselves, or which brand to support by virtue of how they respond to one's need to relieve himself or herself.
Government, no, government, Dervan. I know that you travel a lot, Dervan, and I know that if you're in New York, I'll take for instance in Times Square, you're not thinking too hard to go and relieve yourself, because you know, say, every block of a public place there where citizens can just enter and relieve themselves. And as a start out, Dervan, if we have a government, and I'm saying, Dervan, this is a teaching moment, Dervan. If we have a government, and I'm not saying no, I'm talking about now and future. The people, we the people is your greatest capital. You have to learn to invest in us. Invest in us. You cannot invest in nothing else as a government. You have to invest in us as the people. We the people, you have to invest in us first, and you have to put we the people as priority. Dervan, I heard this morning, Mr. Omar Davis was at a town clerk meeting.
Town hall.
Meeting last night there, Dervan. And he's saying that the school feeding program, the part, it is not enough because children at the primary level are not being fed because the people who are getting the part is not in need of it. And the people who is getting it it is not enough, because sometimes when a child go to school in the morning, and I used to use that person, Omar Davis, because it is his government that is in power now, Dervan. And I'm not speaking anything about politics, Dervan, because what he's saying is pointing back to other ministry like education and social security. So he's saying that sometime when a child get a lunch in the morning or in the day, that child is not afforded another lunch at home until the next day that child come to school. Dervan, we are on the edge of starvation.
You're exaggerating now. You're exaggerating now.
Dervan?
Yeah, you're exaggerating now.
Actually, I'm exaggerating.
Well, you said it. I heard it, and you said it. You just said it, which is fine. I mean, you're free. You're free to express yourself. But in my opinion, that little bit was exaggerated, and exaggeration is not going to fix the problem either.
Dervan, if I'm saying that we are on the edge of poverty, am I saying something wrong? If a child is afforded a meal from the government in the morning, Dervan, a lunch or a breakfast, and that child not certain when that child reach home, I'm going to get
Hello?
Yep.
The line is going in and out. The audio is in and out. Go ahead. Go again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For Dervan, the system need to.
No, you're saying it's on the edge. It's there already. It's there already. What is needed is a strategy to effectively manage the need for a level of care beyond the basics in the interest of those children who are in need. So it's not that it is coming to that point now, getting to the edge, but it has been there.
Well, Dervan, I'll repeat it over and over. If a government is not able to invest in the people of its country, it don't make sense, Dervan. It don't make sense.
That is universally accepted that the people the people are the power. They not only have the power, they are the power. Hold a moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. Make sure you get the letter. The recipe for happiness. Don't forget the letter. It's on value, the best everything when you want the price you really need. Satisfaction always guaranteed. Make sure you get the letter.
We all love good food. Food made with better quality ingredients to keep our family healthy and happy. Ask for the Delect at your supermarket or wholesale. Distributed by Dervan Trade Limited.
Thank you very much for holding the line here on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM. Yes, it is accepted universally that the people must be at the center of any development or decision making involving involving in a society that naturally involves people. So that is a given. Now, ideally, what we should be demonstrating is how people are supposed to be treated. And in instances when people are not being treated how they are supposed to, then certain actions must be taken. Certain decisions have to be taken to ensure that if someone made an error in that regard, it is not repeated. But instead, they use that moment and use that situation to demonstrate how people are supposed to be treated. And if those who run afoul of the rules and the regulations make the mistake to repeat it, then necessarily so people recognize that we're as a government, you're serious about their well-being and their welfare and their sense of humanity more than anything else. So that's no. Are you still there? Hello?
Yes, but Dervan, if you're speaking that way now, and you were talking that
Well, straighten out the line a bit, please. The line is going in and out. The connection. Come again. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
It's gone again. Hello?
Hello?
All right. Keep talking. Let's see if it will achieve a level of stability. Go ahead.
This is our problem, you know, Dervan. This is one of our biggest challenge in Jamaica. We are a people paying for service, and the government is not able to make sure that we, the people, get the amount of service that we are paying for.
I think you meant quality as opposed to amount. Yes, the quality Dervan, of the service.
Yes, Dervan. We are not able to get the quality. We have to be moving to the left of our house and the right of our house, and sometimes we have to head through the window to get a proper connection. So that's it. What I'm talking about, Dervan. people, anybody who come into our country to invest, the first thing you got to tell them as a government, make sure anything that you are doing, the people is pleased. You're doing this with the Jamaican people. Make sure that it is at 100%. Dervan, I must talk
Hello?
to
Connection is still going in and out. Go again.
Yeah, I'm giving you a precaution. If you're going into the coronation market, Dervan, don't wear your fancy shoes. Put on a water boot.
Well, I go to Coronation Market fairly frequently, actually. I don't have a choice. And I've never had to go to do anything out of the norm. It's a regular footwear.
No, but Dervan, I guess that you drive and park up next to the Coronation Market. But if you are taking a bus, then like a and you will be walking through Princess Street, North Lane, West Queen Street, and all of those streets. You will be walking in muck, Dervan, pure mucky water. You have to upskip and make sure so you can stand up good. Because if you slip, you're gone, Dervan. You're gone.
Yeah, it is sad that after decades that we still haven't been able to effectively develop or redevelop Coronation Market and surrounding areas. It is really, really, really very sad. And it tells a tale in terms of wasted time and resources for decades. And I'm not sure how much hope we can invest in a better situation going forward. It's really sad, really very sad.
Listen.
Hello?
Yes, the thing
No, the line is misbehaving. Hello?
I'm saying that we have to fix it.
Yes.
We have to fix it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes,
but there have been so many other developments before or since so many other developments in terms of what we're seeing, buildings going up, etc., in different areas, and the new companies and so on and so forth. And if our people can be doing all of that, which is quite palpable and which we are seeing before our very eyes on a daily basis, why haven't we been able to achieve that level of success in completing the work in the Coronation Market area? I don't get it.
Dervan, Jamaican, all over the world. We fix everywhere now, Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
Jamaican fix everywhere. We Jamaican, we fix everywhere. We fix America. We Jamaican fix America. We Jamaican fix Canada. We Jamaican fix the UK. We fix everywhere, Dervan. Jamaica. Everywhere in the world, we're going to fix it.
Oh, the line is wobbling again.
Repeat the
I'm
one I'm
saying.
saying. We Jamaican we fix everywhere.
Mhm.
We fix America, Dervan. We fix Canada. We fix the UK. So why country
Good question.
fix this? Jamaica, jam down, paradise, land of food and water, and we still thirsty. Why we can't fix yourself? And we go teach people in England to use proper toilet. We go teach them in England. And no, this is not proper to relieve yourself on roadside. Oh, we go to England to teach them, say, no, you can't relieve yourself on roadside. But we gone back many years after that, I do it on roadside downtown now. We are doing it. Why we are go retro? Why? Why, Dervan? Why?
Misguided.
Dervan, we have to fix it, Dervan. We have to fix it. If I have a brick by brick, we have to fix it. We must have to fix this, Dervan.
It can be done. It can be done, and it should be done.
But, Dervan, you see, people like you have the mic in your hand, eh? The massive can hear you, Dervan. The massive can hear you. But, Dervan, did you know if you fight?
We're missing pieces of your speech. We're not hearing you in a coherent way. The quality of the link is deteriorating.
Okay. What I'm saying, Dervan.
Okay. All right. See if you can keep it there. See if you can keep it at that level. Go ahead.
Yeah, with people like you who have a mic here and in front of the masses and a red echo of people like me.
We missed some of that, some of what you said there just now.
Further this day, and we'll be saying that of an attack, and the malign you and say that's fixing.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing what you're saying clearly or consistently. Yeah, not hearing. Check the line. You check your line. Something is wrong.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. To the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How things, Mr. Dervan?
I am fine, thanks. How are you?
I am okay, man. I am okay, and I am also happy that you have performed. You have prepared a platform for us to speak and speak in a professional manner.
Well, it's the least we can do for our country.
So, in relation to the expulsion attendance, I know that you was about me yesterday evening. As you get an update in terms of the 3 girls what have been expelled?
No.
Okay. So is it possibly you get an update for us during the period while you're on?
We'll see.
So probably you can get it from the Ministry of Education or the board chairperson down in Montego Bay.
I wouldn't be surprised if you were able to get your hands on it before I do.
Mm.
But And where am I? Play?
You are at work, but you had also had a platform that you can reach out and reach quicker than normal person. That person like you can reach
Okay.
quicker.
Hold the line, please. One moment.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 8:30.
It's a real good meat. Rosy jacket, anyway you do it. It have enough more protein than you think. Enough vitamins and protein. It's a real good meat. Rosy jacket, anyway you do it. Delicious nutrition is full of
Thanks.
The meat is sweet. Pork is a real good meat. Jamaican pork, always a healthy choice. The tastier protein choice. A message from the Jamaica Big Farmers Association.
Tired of your old kitchen? That dream bathroom stuck in your head? Get free expert advice at H&L Rapid True Values. Meet the experts events at all our stores island-wide. Saturday, April 20 and 27th. For big deal, exciting giveaway, and H&L loyalty exclusive to tackle your renovation goals. Doors open 8 a.m. Set that early alarm. See you there. Start right. Start here. H&L Rapid True Value. Conditions apply.
That breaking word. Say a prayer for his wife and his children.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Bunty, the listener who goes by the name Bunty, is holding on the line, 876-365-3346. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Oh, hold on. I think we crossed the lines a while ago.
Okay.
So let's see now. Is this Bunty?
Yes,
Yes. Good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
good afternoon and to all our listeners. I sent a text somewhere either 2 days ago or a day before, talking about the Black High School, pertaining to the dean and the principal, where the students are given the privilege to carry the phone. And a student were in the class and he just took out his phone to glimpse the time, what was it? And the dean saw that and go and take away the phone. After a while, they charged to get back the phone. I'm asking now, these things supposed to be like an extortion? For she explained to her, and she still took away the phone and charged, had to pay to get back the phone. Now, Mr. Dervan, the principal knew about it. And we are asking the minister to intervene in that situation to find out what is going on. And it's not that school, I mean, many other schools, but they're not coming out with it broadly. And I think something should be done about it.
It's actually
Similar.
fairly simple exercise. If you have a set of rules that govern a certain behavior or certain practices, and those of us who are subjected to those rules or who subject ourselves to those rules agree to abide by the rules and regulations. And it means, therefore, that when we breach the rules, we should expect something else to follow, because in terms of how those matters are structured, there are consequences that are supposed to flow from that. And yes, some of us have the power of discretion, and it's up to us how to use that power of discretion. But it's not always going to be like that.
Totally agree with you.
And if there are other parents and and students who have issues, then it means you're going to include that on the agenda of the Parent Teacher Association, the PTA, and work it from there. And then you might need to take it to the board level after that, depending on the situation. But it can't be anything goes or just give away a bly or something like that if we are serious about guiding young people. But it doesn't mean we're going to deprive them of an opportunity to make that mistake and to say I'm sorry.
And, I agree with you, Mr. Malcolm, but what I'm thinking and saying, those who have the authority, I feel to myself they are not acting professional the way they should. As you had already said, that because the rules are set here, you're going to because the person, I'm sorry, and it's done like that. I heard someone call on the radio, and the same program, no, not this, where this principal sent over a child, right? And when the board hear about it and try to reprimand the principal, it's like she wants things. Now I understand that they've been investigating it to find out for the child had to go to another school, which way the mother had to pay some extra money now for that child go to that school. So hearing it, it's like these people don't use their discretion and they are try to take power in their own hand, which it shouldn't be so, which we like the government to. I heard another thing where this person in locked up for 5 years and nobody to bail him, and the parents is there like I don't know what to say, have no alternative. So look at it now from any perspective. The government, whichever government, I don't know which one, if they are not putting them no food, and them are breed criminal, they are breeding criminal in this country. So everybody feels that them have power, and they do as they like. No disciplinary action not taken. So it's not right. For the child explain to her, she was just glimpsing at the time to regulate herself. She come around and just take away the phone and say if she have to get it here to pay. The Black River High School and the principal know about it and not doing anything. Keisha Brown and the principal as Miss Romans, they must come together and see that the thing run properly. Another thing, Mr. Dervan, this gentleman that was talking about going to Coronation Market and all of that, he, as you say, is exhilarating, trust me. And I'm saying to myself and the rest of speaker, the rest of person who call in and make some good suggestion, what can help or what can do. Not just stay there and criticize. When enough people criticize and if they were there in the position, they can't do nothing. So, and give somebody else a chance, make them explore themselves with some new ideas. Not just find finger, criticize. We are all imperfect human, and I'm not saying we mustn't do our job for how many years now we are in this? How many years? Look at it, drive around town, Spanish town, everywhere. You have mayor sitting in the office in them white shirt and jacket and tie. What are they doing? Spanish town is like I don't know what to say. I can't describe it. Trust me. I just can't describe it, Mr. Malcolm, and I talked to you about this already, you know. Just go through the town one at a time, video it, and ask what them people they are getting paid for. What are they getting paid for? Wasting taxpayers' money? And they are complaining, the government is the government, and what are they doing? They must get up on the center, man. If you have not for them own pocket, and he's talking about the part program again, another situation. Government may send people if you go breed people and get two people and can't maintain a picnic. Me not say enough for assist.
All right, you might be upset or angry, etc. But please watch the language. There's a word that there's a word.
I'm feeling like the same, but it's reality. Government may send them over if you go get this.
Yes, but it doesn't have to be in such a vulgar way. It's not necessary.
The government, the government that and they're not doing this and they're not doing this.
Yes.
And they're not getting as much money and all of that.
But we don't need to be that vulgar about it.
People must look well, people don't examine themselves and see what don't buy more than what they can chew. That's another thing. Don't buy more than what they can chew. For Miss Mavis, him now, telling God I talk to him. Tell Miss Mavis, please read Jeremiah chapter 23, all of it. The only way we hear it from God is by studying God's word and applying it in our life. That's we can be a better person. Have a blessed day, Mr. Mark, and thanks for your patience. The patient you have, you more than your right donkey, trust me. Have a blessed day. Take care.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello?
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Thomas. How are you, sir?
I am fine, thanks. How are you?
Well, I'm not so bad. You know, at some time ago, I called you and I mentioned that we are not monitoring the calling of the man. I remember I asked about how many lines you have. Roughly about 5?
922-411-2345.
All right. Suppose everybody calls one line same time. You have 5 lines, you know, and 5 of us are on the line. And you will give one person maybe around half an hour. That's number one. In the next one, you give another 20 minutes. That is 60 minutes. And then the next one, you give. We have 5 already on the line, you know, because I'm holding the longest while, you know. And you have to monitor the car in Jamaica. You have to know how many people holding at that time in Jamaica. And say 5. That 5 or 25. So one person, I hold 5 hours, I hold about 25 minutes. And when we start that, all right, let me get to my 2 points. I'm not in support of the principal at St. James High School in respect to those 2 females, right? Because those people, those 2 children in need counseling. And you make a decision to tell them they must find another school.
Well, the last thing we heard is that the last thing we heard in relation to that was that no, there's what was it? I heard something. I was just trying to. I don't want to give the wrong information.
All right.
But there was some announcement. Oh, this counselors have been dispatched to the institution.
When? Since weeks.
Yeah.
And if Comrade never came and you call it, new talk or mention it Monday gone. Nobody in a no mode. Within 3 to 4 days, everybody on the pan down. But I'm to the Parent Teachers Association at that school.
They're not communicating because the PTA is is supposed to be one of the most vibrant of the association.
You want them all come to the female teachers at that school. What are their children? And you tell me, say them come to a difficulty, them can't see the school, and Mr. Malcolm, I said the country the base now. I and it's based up. I mean, I tell them about my child. Yeah, could not. We could not. I'm here pay my taxes. Okay, I disrupt and I school. And I like to children not fight and disrupt the class or something like that. And you tell me that the two children.
Hold a moment, please. One moment. Hold on, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. Power 106 FM, the digital sound, and now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us on 106.1 to 106.9 on the FM band. You can also listen to us at the Power 106
You said Jason?
which you can
Oh,
download
Jason.
on the
Okay.
Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can tune
Okay.
in on your
Okay,
mobile
thank
phones by dialing 631-359-8281 if you're in the US. And if you're in the UK, you can dial 0330-606-0953. Plus, listen to us on onespotmedia.com and the One Spot Media app, or log on to go-jamaica.com. Power 106 FM, where all views can contend, giving you powerful talk radio in so many ways, on air and online.
Raise your glass to the hard-working people. Let's drink to the upcoming.
Thanks for holding. Please continue.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm. In respect to the two children I get, I tell you, from January, so that parent have to find new set of uniform if they get if you should get in another school, and buy the extra bus fare, and me I pay my taxes. Eh? Me not disrupt the staff at the school, and you tell me that not even one of the female teachers them and some of the people not stand up with the children them. Eh? So let's say they put them for even 2 weeks suspension. You tell them they cannot come back to school. Eh? I bet there's something happened to one of them teachers that you know to work or run up and down. You know your family you know you like that thing, you know. Female and I say two boys. Female and you have I explain them, you know. Eh? And me the ministry to them more we put by next week. I really stand them trying to same there. You can't take a Jamaica, you know. If me as America, I take a 4 hours to go to America. And you tell me that I'm going to wait for an hour or 10 years to come to Kingston. You want 1 week? This was a someone, the principal and the board, instant. A minister straight who tell it 1 week with a report and upon January that happened. Never hear this yet. Somebody come in much for my time I tell you, you know. This country is better make sometimes we won't manage that computer already.
Well, the family of the children have opportunities to bring forth their concern and their.
That is it on Mr. Malcolm. Most comrades never mention it for here. Most comrades never mention it for another program Monday or Tuesday. The 2 points that we would know that. Because I you know, depends on who for children to, you know, better for some other person they could do that. They could never do it. Because that happened at school. People are rip off money and some fraud and all that stuff. They're not trying to people go for suspension. I expect. But when I tell them that was my children or my child, you know, I tell them that will happen, you know. In school, at the time, police have pulled us, you know, because every day I tell my child at school, you know, I make them assault her. Make them assault her. Make them assault her, and you up. Because I send them to school, and I say 1 year with a uniform, you know. Yes, I'm book. I have St. James High School. And the JTA, and the principal association, them, and the parent teachers association, and nobody from January. Yeah, Jamaica for justice take it up, and I want them follow it up. We're not going, but what you call it, public defender against the public defender theory.
A public defender, yes.
You say that one?
Yes.
So we should order the first look. Let's step in. And even children advocate. One to Miss Diana, I will say his name. Come on, man. You can't make some female. Nobody pick it up. Inside the minute, I try summon the board. I'm fire the board up. Mama say under 60. Those children might be under 16, you know.
All right, thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Oh boy, I tell you. Let me just say that the gentleman who called out about the phone, and you're saying to him that there are rules and there are consequences.
No, I said no such thing. I said no such thing. Careful now. Careful now. Careful now. Careful. I said a lot of things, but I didn't phrase it the way you did just now.
Well, I phrase it that way because that's the way I understand what you said. You didn't say exactly those words, but you're saying that there are rules, and when you break those rules, something come after. What come after is exactly what the consequences are. That's what I got from you, basically. And you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong, you know. You're absolutely right. So I'm not saying you're wrong. However, though, I think some rules are draconious. And the gentleman, I don't think he even understands what you're saying. He kept saying that the principal and the teacher did something wrong. No, if those were the rules and they understood those rules are the rule before that happened, then they can't do nothing about it. My take on it is that some rules are draconious, and we need to get those rules quashed before they become a noose in our necks. There's a congressman over here, John Lewis, he died now. He always talk about good trouble, because when we were in the shackles and when we were up to stay in the back of the bus, we have to break those rules. And yes, a child should not use a cell phone in school. You shouldn't be on the phone playing games, you should be on the phone, nothing in school. But a child take out a phone to look at the time or to look if an emergency call comes in and put the phone back in her bag or his bag shouldn't be a problem. So we gotta protest those rules and let them not become draconious. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Same thing the gentleman that came up about two childish kissing. Okay, maybe it's against the rule. And I want to know if it was a boy and a girl, if a boy and a girl was kissing, that would the same reaction? Probably not. Talk to your child, give them some counsel, let them know it's not the rule to kiss in school. But when you kick the child out of school, where you kick them out of school, what next now, Dervan? Where are they gonna go? They're gonna go to another school and do the same thing, right? I tell you, boy, in Jamaica, I think people like to take liberty of people in Jamaica, you know. And if they find that people is different from them, they scan it to the ground. And we cannot build a better country like that, Dervan. You know, I am not advocating for children to be kissing in school. You give them a warning, and you let them know it's not allowed in the school. But to kick them out of the school, my gracious. One reason I call for is I want to send condolence to the child that died in Westmoreland. I think one child died and one child got injured in that shooting. I don't know why I would want to shoot a child coming from school. That's so heinous, okay? gang. I think it was a gang feud going on there in Grangeville. So heinous and so tragic for the parents to know your child go to school of all places and didn't make it back home. I one in the hospital. There was a detective that went to the school, I think, and give a very good what you call counseling, but what you call it counseling, but letting the children know, or it wasn't that school, by the way. It wasn't that school. They went to the school in Irving High where the child where the child killed the other child. He got locked up now. Went to Irving High in St. James. And he gave a very good counseling session to the children about what happened when you do something bad. And I'm saying to myself, why these detectives and sergeant and who they are they should go to the school more regularly and talk to these children and give them even tour of the prison cells to let them know what's gonna happen to them when they get in trouble, like when they get into these trouble, or when they commit certain crimes. What do you think about that, Dervan?
No, there's and you perhaps could try and find it. There's a magazine, National Geographic, several years ago, published a magazine focused on teenagers and why they behave the way they do and how they behave the way they do, and they, how they understand the world around them and so on. And ever since I read that magazine, I have taken a different approach in responding to young people, in responding to children. And so, I'm sorry, there's something in the background that is a grating sound. Anyway, so having read that National Geographic magazine focused on teenagers and why they do what they do and how they see their environment and so on and so forth, I since then took a different tact, TACT, in dealing with young people, in dealing with children, because they're not the kind of people that you deal with in extremes, but to be able to understand what is happening to them and what is happening with them. And so what we really should be doing is seeking first to understand, then to be understood.
Dervan,
yes.
I can tell you this from experience. I've gone to high school here in the States. And don't get me wrong, the high school here that, things happen, bad kids from bad homes. That's what I call it. You're right, teenagers are going to be teenagers. But I've gone to high school here in the States. And I can tell you this. You don't see one. These kids are so disciplined, right? And I'm saying, what's the difference with these children? And I call it the bad kids from bad home. And these kids are exposed to so much violence in the community. So this is what they're bringing out.
Well, that's an important point. That it speaks to the level of trauma when you see some of these children acting out. They have been through so much and are still, in a number of instances, still going through. The expression that comes to my mind is hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people.
And that's why they need, counseling. They need counseling especially in this volatile community. In the school is very important. I think Tony was talking about that this morning. They need counseling. These kids need to be having resolution, how they manage their anger, how they manage. I spoke to someone just now.
Hold a moment, please. One moment.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is...
Wetlands are one of the most important and productive ecosystems universally. They provide shoreline protection against hurricanes and are natural habitats for several species of animals. Let's take the necessary actions to ensure that wetlands are conserved and sustainably used. A message from Conrad Douglas and Associates and a subsidiary, Environmental Science and Technology Limited, pioneers in environmental management and environmental engineering consultancy services for more than 38 years.
Thanks for holding. Go ahead, please.
I just said, I think I spoke to you last week or this week about this gentleman that came up from Jamaica not too long ago. Very bright guy. He's going to go into the Navy. But I was telling you that it was on a railroad and he wasn't feeling too well. And the ticket agency came up to him, I want to see his ticket. He's not answering the ticket agency. The ticket agency said, I'm going to give you a ticket. Because you're not showing me your ticket. So he said, go ahead. So I said, why you never answer the guy? He said, he wasn't feeling like he wasn't having an asthma attack. And he said, I just want to punch him. I said, the man is doing his job. He's asking for the ticket. Tell him you don't feel well. I'm sorry if you couldn't tell him that. I don't know, but give him some sign. Said, I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well. Maybe I'll call the ambulance for you. But you want to punch the man for what? So I told him, if you're going to live with that attitude, you're not going to last. You're going to have a problem. You can't go in there with that. You can't go in there. I don't know. We have a hunger management problem in Jamaica. I've seen it. I've heard it. It's so in the face. People get angry for no reason, especially men. No reason. They want to kill you. They want to kill each other for no reason. So we need to get that in the school where these children can mediate their issues before they get to a fight.
Yeah, they need to be socialized. They need to be socialized.
Right.
A couple of other messages. Stephen Barnes is greeting us. Good afternoon, Stephen Barnes. Thank you for joining us. And Rupert Watson says, God's richest blessings to Mr. Malcolm. And I'm listening to you from Ottawa, Canada, says Rupert Watson. Thank you very much. And let's see who else is hitting us up online. 876-365-3346. That's the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. 876-365-3346. The regular call-in lines, 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And we still have just about 26 minutes to go on today's edition of Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. It's been a very, very hectic, busy period of time in terms of information, news, current affairs, and just trying to pull it together and make sure we are giving due regard and treatment to the various stories, but it's been quite busy, very, very busy, all across different segments, different sectors. And we're getting a sense of how the members of the general public, the citizenry of this country, feel about what is happening or not happening, and how they view their position in this, dare I say, new world. When I say that, I'm just in general terms speaking of the different ways in which we do things these days and the implications of that. So let's see how much more we can share with our listeners. 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Those are the numbers. If you have questions, if you have issues, queries, concerns, whatever is on your mind, please feel free to share here on both sides of the story. See your messages. Valerie Weller Peck, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Thank you for those messages. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Rohan Johnson of Atlas Ocho Rios, just making sure that we know that he's still on board. He says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. I wish for you and yours all the best for the weekend. Coming from Rohan Johnson, Atlas Ocho Rios, clocking in, he says. Nicola in central Jamaica is on board as well. Good afternoon to you, Nicola. Thanks as usual for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. And taking your calls, as we've said, 876-922-4112-5. So here's a reminder how things have changed and are still changing. There was a time when there was little or no complaint about vaccinations and related matters. Now it's a big deal, one way or another. Well, on this day in 1954, the Salk polio vaccine field trials involving 1.8 million children began at the Franklin Sherman Elementary School in McLean, Virginia. Children in the United States, Canada, and Finland participated in the trials, which used for the first time the now standard double-blind method, whereby neither the patient nor attending doctor knew if the inoculation was the vaccine or a placebo. On April 12, 1955, researchers announced the vaccine was safe and effective, and it quickly became a standard part of childhood immunizations in America. In the ensuing decades, polio vaccines would all but wipe out the highly contagious disease in the Western Hemisphere. So that's a piece of health history there when it comes to vaccination. And we're still in a period of drought. So that's going to take us now to 1962. Storage of water in the Hermitage Dam had been rising during the past few days. And on this day in 1962, the level was 339 million gallons. Mr. S.W. Park, Secretary to the Water Commission, said on this day in 1962 that at least another 60 million gallons were needed to fill the dam, and it was likely that this level would be reached soon if the rains continued. Mr. Park said that the Commission always wished to see the dam full to capacity at the end of each May to ensure sufficient water supplies during the summer. The Hermitage Dam on the Wagwater River was opened on May 4, 1927. It was built to provide a reserve water supply for the corporate area of Kingston and St. Andrew. The dam is 142 feet high, 465 feet wide, and is capable of storing 430 million gallons of water. It took 2.5 years to build. And here we are, 60 plus years later, and we are yet to fix. I'm almost tempted to reverse the words, to change places. But let's just say we're still trying to fix the Hermitage Dam. Still trying to make it count in a strategic way as far as the sustainability of water is concerned. So we're still having issues there 60 plus years later. And that's a part of the challenge we have to grapple with. Just being able to create a level of development and moving forward that not only gives us a sense of going somewhere, getting to a different place, another place, but also just being able to witness real sustainable development. So that was 1962. But we have had some success in different areas. 1965, the Industry Minister Robert Lightburn switched on the electric lights in Sunning Hill, St. Thomas, which was the first rural community to benefit from the Village Electricity Program sponsored jointly by the government and the Jamaica Public Service Company. Lights in another St. Thomas village, Wilmington, was scheduled to be switched on shortly to become the second district to benefit from the program. Well, how many times have we shared the story of Robert Lightburn? His is the story of the industrialization of Jamaica. Case in point, Goodyear. Although agriculture continued to be important to the economy of St. Thomas in the 20th century, a number of other industries also developed over the period. While it lasted, the Goodyear Tire Factory had quite a positive impact on the parish and by extension the wider economy of Jamaica. In 1966, Goodyear opened its tire factory on a 30-acre site on the former Springfield estate at Duhenny Pen, which is just outside of Morant Bay. The factory manufactured car tires, truck tires, farm equipment tires, and other related products, and provided employment for over 200 St. Thomas residents for 31 years until its closure in 1997. Goodyear, Jamaica was very successful and supplied the local market and also exported tires to every CARICOM country. However, labor disputes over wage and fringe benefit packages for 127 of its hourly paid workers, strikes in January 1995 by the export market contributed continue production of car tires in that year. Although the St. Thomas factory continued to produce truck and other tires, the writing was on the wall, and Goodyear announced that it was making a transition away from production and focusing instead on sales and marketing. In 1997, the Goodyear tire factory in St. Thomas closed its doors for good, taking with it the livelihoods of many. But there is hope. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. It's here. It's there. It's everywhere. It's whatstopmedia.com. Watch your favorite local program or listen to your favorite radio station from anywhere in the world on your tablet, smartphone, or personal computer. Download the app now and keep up to date with your favorite local programs on TVJ. Check us out at whatstopmedia.com. Follow us on Instagram, facebook.com/whatstopmedia, and subscribe now. OneSpotMedia.com.
Let's take to the sound of the air. Let's take to the hard work.
Right, and so the developments started coming along, and the Minister of Trade and Industry, the Honorable Robert Lightburn, led the establishment of several factories in Yalas, including a telephone assembly plant. The push towards the development of viable manufacturing enterprises in the parish was characteristic of Lightburn's tenure as minister. The many initiatives underway in the parish in the 1960s included the Caribbean Button Company Limited in license 1963, ITT Standard Electric Company of Jamaica Limited, Yalas 1965, Hosiery Company of Jamaica Limited, 11 Miles 1967, and General Distributors Limited, 7 Miles in 1968. In tribute to his contribution to the parish, the Robert Lightburn High School in Trinityville, St. Thomas, has been named in his honor. And there is a new development now where Goodyear used to be, and we'll see the extent to which that is able to improve the level of production and productivity in the parish. That's the idea. And we'll see how that goes. We still have a few minutes before we wrap, so let's take some more of your calls and your messages and your comments. 876-922-4112-5, the numbers to call. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And so let's go down the line now and share with you a bit more here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And whatever is on your mind, please feel free to share. As we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, as we get ready for another busy weekend. We look forward to seeing you at the 28th annual Jake's Off-Road Triathlon, which is scheduled for tomorrow, Saturday, the 27th of April. And I think it does have quite a history in terms of the organization's success, and we want to celebrate the Jake's Off-Road Triathlon because it's another way of marketing and showcasing and featuring Jamaica and providing opportunities for our people. So we look forward to full support at the Jake's Off-Road Triathlon, the 28th staging, come tomorrow. And we look forward to how the promotion of this event can play a part in enhancing our economic development. And so we use the opportunity to encourage all of us, notwithstanding the challenges, to continue playing our part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. But of course, we have to put on our mask first before helping others, right? You get the picture. Continuing with more on your program, both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And we once again commend the team on their work. So it's the world's longest running off-road triathlon. So there's another gift from Jamaica to the world. The Jake's Off-Road Triathlon, holding the title of the world's longest running off-road triathlon. So Jamaica continues to give to the world. She continues to give to the world. And all we need is to collaborate, to commit ourselves or recommit ourselves to serving our nation in the best interest of our people. And we need all hands on board, all hands on deck. We need all hands on deck. But we play our part as the opportunity presents itself. So we wish the team all the very best for their event tomorrow, the 27th of April. So let's see if there are any lingering messages before we have to wrap. Any lingering messages, please bring forth. Let's see. H. Morgan in Birmingham says, "Hi, Dervan. Yes, I remember the license button factory. My dad used to work there. I was just a young boy then," says H. Morgan in Birmingham. Cuban in Georgia says, "Sir Malcolm, it's concerning what is happening in Grange Hill. We noticed after the local government elections, there has been a heavy concentration of violence in Westmoreland and St. Catherine, where the opponent has regained those two parishes. Where's the police intelligence in those areas to provide peace and safety for all citizens to live in peace and harmony? The police is there to reassure, serve, and protect after all," says Cuban in Georgia. Thank you for your message and all the very best. As we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And so we want to thank you for being with us all of this week, going into the weekend. We thank you very much for your listenership and support. And this is where we say thanks once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Friday, the 26th of April, 2024. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns Monday afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm, inviting you to join us in the morning on the Jamaican Diaspora live online from 6 to 9 as we bring you live coverage of the 28th staging of the world's longest running off-road triathlon, the Jake's Off-Road Triathlon. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm, wishing all a safe and a peaceful weekend.
Let's drink to the salt of the earth. Say a prayer for the common foot soldier. Sparrow up for his back-breaking word. Say a prayer for his wife and his children who burn the fire and who kill till the end.
Bye.
And when I search, my face was fire. Yeah. I can see a swirling mass of grace. All I can tell you about it, black and white. But you know it don't look real to me, no. In fact, they look so strange. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Raise your glass to the hard-working people. Let's drink to the uncounted. Let's think of the wandering millions who need leaders but get cameras instead. Yeah. When I search for Christmas pride, oh yeah. I can still see a mountain rain. Yes, I can right now. Black and white. Oh, they look the real to me, no they don't. In fact, they look so strange. Yeah. Let's drink to the hard-working people. Let's drink of the lonely of birth. Let's drink to the red-hanging people. Let's drink to the salt of the air.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast